Hey, good evening. The in- Hey, good evening. What's up, everybody? Hello, hello, hello. Good evening. It is Thursday. It is Thursday. Welcome to the Real Life Relationship Growth Get Together. Chat them up. Sit on the couch by me. Come on in the studio. Come on in the room. Welcome. It is Thursday. It is time. We are going live as we do every Thursday, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am Donna. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for being here. Um, Let me do this for those who've never been, those who've never visited, those who have not been here. It's your first time. I definitely get started at whatever time we get started because this is going to be, it's live, but it's actually also going to be posted it's going to be available on the YouTube channel. On the YouTube channel. So I'm going to give you guys the link there to go to YouTube. If you are on Facebook, and Facebook seems to be a little iffy because sometimes it does, please go over to YouTube for me. Please go over to YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like, hit that bell icon so you guys will be available and know when we're on. I'm sorry, be available. When you guys will know when we'll be on, and you can go and actually you can binge watch because there's a lot of videos on there on a lot of different topics based on relationships there. So if y'all could do that for me, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell icon, like the videos, watch them, you still can engage. So if you have a comment or a thought or a feeling or whatever, you still can type it because YouTube sends messages to me to let me know, hey, uh, Kevin commented on that video. All right. So I appreciate you guys for doing that. So welcome to the place, family. This is the criteria for you to be here. This is the criteria for you to be here. You have to be single, dating, courting, engaged, married, divorced, or widower. That is the criteria for you to be here, a part of this family. And we appreciate you being here. So let me say this. Let me say this. I am not a relationship expert. I am in no way a relationship expert. But what I am is a black woman living in this life, living it, doing the damn thing, and enjoying myself in the process. That is who I am. I have had some experiences in life, some ups, some downs, some things that can help you, some things that can help me, some things that can help others. And guess what? Same thing with you. You have had some experiences, you have had some successes, some challenges, you have had some downfalls. You have had some things that have happened that your experience in that can help someone else. That's what we're here for. We're about growth in relationships. Now, that dynamic starts with the mother and the father, husband and the wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, however that thing goes, but it starts with the male female dynamic. And then that umbrella with all of that comes down and trickles down to everybody else. Your in laws, your children, your siblings. We are here to grow relationships because without each other, y'all, this thing ain't gonna make it. We ain't gonna make it. All right? Believe it or not, we need each other because we were created to need each other. The man, that husband, needs that helpmate. All right? Okay. So every week we come together and we talk about different topics, different subjects. Big up to my brothers. I always have to big up my brothers because ladies, the brothers are present and active with the Real Life Relationship Growth channel. They are present and they are active. And I appreciate them all the time. So what I'm going to do now, y'all, I'm going to bring on um my family, my RLRG family. It changes week to week, but somebody who does not change week to week, someone who's here every week because she has become my right hand, my left, my sister Claudette. takes care of her grandbaby in the evenings. So sometimes she can't get on with us, but Corey and my sister Claudette are my backdrop in the real life relationship growth, keep things going. But I have to bring my girl Corey on first. I always have to bring my girl Corey on first. Because you know what they say, give people their flowers. Give people their flowers now. Because they're not going to know it. They're not going to know it later on. So let me bring my girl Corey on. Miss Corey B. Hey, sis.
Hey.
Hey,
Hello.
hey. Hey, hey.
You ready?
You ready? I'm ready. All right, here we go.
3, 2, 1, go.
Ooh,
Ooh, ladies first. Ladies first.
ooh.
Ladies first.
Ladies first.
Ladies first.
Corey and I started doing that a minute ago, y'all, and it sticks. Do not profess at all to be a singer. At all. But we love it. That's our
Preach.
thing. That's our thing. Corey, do me a favor. Say something for us. Okay.
Something. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Check, check. Am I too
Seems like I
far, too
have a
close?
delay, a little bit of a delay. Let me bring everybody else on and let me see if I'm still having the issue, still hearing it. All right.
All
Okay.
right, I'm gonna mute myself.
So as we do, anytime the ladies are in the building, we always bring the ladies on. It's just proper. It's just proper. What up, Dawn?
Ooh, ladies
Ladies
first,
first.
ladies
Ladies
first.
first.
Ooh, ladies
Ladies
first,
first.
ladies
Ladies
first.
first.
Ah.
Ladies first.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Hey,
ma'am. Yes,
ladies.
ma'am. Hello.
I know the guy's gonna jump on upset tonight.
They're gonna be like, come on,
Upset.
we gotta have a conversation. Give us that.
That's
Don't leave the
right.
brothers
That's
hanging.
right. Yeah, we respect the brothers. We appreciate the brothers, but we're gonna bring the ladies first. We're gonna bring the ladies first. And I'm sure they
Good to
don't
go.
mind. Because these are men who open doors and pull out chairs, and
There you
so I'm
go.
sure they don't
There
mind.
you go.
I'm sure they don't mind. So tonight, y'all, RLRG, the RLRG page has a favorite. I'm not gonna lie. We have a favorite. I have a favorite. This brother is literally my favorite. He is my favorite. Kevin has been supporting and following the page, the channel, since its inception, since day one. He has been here. He has been here. So anytime we get a chance, and when Kevin's not on camera with us, Kevin is always in the back typing, making his comments, having us laughing. But we love to hear this brother's insight anytime we come into these topics because he has a lot to say and it's always something good, always something we can grow, take, and have some growth from. So let me bring my boy, Kevin. Hey, Kev.
Hello, how are you?
Hey, Kevin.
Yeah, Kev.
Hello.
There you go. Yeah. Need you to.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. My laptop was on low battery, so I'm on this tablet here, and I don't like how this thing is functioning. So,
I don't know, Kev. I kind of actually like the picture a little. Yeah, it's a little bit more intimate. The laptop you seemed like it was like way back and like
oh, okay. Well, because I only
yeah,
can see parts of my face. I can't see my face all the way,
yeah,
but
We
yeah.
can
Just turn
see
it a
your
little
Oh
bit.
face
yeah, you
very
cut off
clear.
like right here.
Yeah, it's very
It is
clear.
very
It's
clear.
very clear. Okay,
Mhm.
okay.
okay.
So yeah, if you
If
want to
you like
bring
it,
it
I
down
love it.
some though, if you like,
Huh?
where you want to go up or down? Where he should go up or down?
So do me a favor,
Yeah,
Kev. You got your laptop open?
yeah.
Okay. Can you lean your iPad, your tablet against the
I
laptop?
have it against the laptop. Oh, whoop. Hello?
Okay,
What the?
yeah, we see you, but yeah, but turn it back the other way. Your picture was better the other way. Yeah, turn
Yeah,
it
when I
back the way.
turn it this way, I get my whole face up in here, but if I turn it this way,
You still
oh,
there?
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Just
You
push it
there?
back away from you, right? Then it
yep.
turns
Perfect.
over.
Okay.
There
There
it
you go, right
is.
there.
There it
Okay.
is.
Oh, okay. I see what I did.
Yeah,
I had it
it looks
upside down.
clear.
Okay.
It looks
That's good. Okay, it's perfect. It's perfect. All
Thanks for
right.
the intro, Donna. I appreciate it.
Yeah. My boy Kevin. Like, yeah, so it's wonderful to meet people. Like, people talk about social media and it has it's not social media. It's what you do with it. Period. It's like what you do with it. So people have their, um, they talk bad about it or they have their conspiracy theories about it or whatever. But I have had nothing but wonderful experiences with social media. Kevin is one of these people that I have met through social media and have yet to meet in person. And this has been going on for years. Like we talk on the phone now. Kevin was supposed to be here last weekend, but Corey, we ain't gonna rag him too bad on that. We not gonna rag him too bad
Yeah,
on that. But
Corey got me. She got me.
she
Yeah,
got you. Yeah, we gonna
she
give you
got me
some grace.
good.
We gonna give you some grace, but
Pulled up,
that's
pulled
okay.
out that Wilmington bolo punch.
Uh oh. Uh oh. Did she? Did she give it like that, Kev?
Oh man, it hurt me bad. Oh my goodness.
Oh
So what?
wow. We gonna have to talk about that later because we can't have that. We can't
I
have
can't
that.
breathe. I can't breathe. Lord help me.
Hmm.
All right, y'all. But yeah, Kevin has been around since day one, and I really appreciate you. I really appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So we're gonna keep our eye out on the count because we're supposed to have more of the family pop in. If they make it tonight, wonderful. If they don't, um, we still gonna do what we do. We still gonna do what we do. I definitely needed a male presence on here tonight, Kevin. So again, thank you, thank you.
Oh,
Don,
no problem. No problem.
Don, how was your day?
It was an adventurous day.
Was it
Yes, it was a great day though. But
okay?
I'm going through renovations, and one of my bathrooms is almost done. It's like 95% done. So I don't know if anybody's ever gone through home renovations, but and if you ever build it, especially because that's essentially what they're doing. They usually demolition everything,
Yeah,
right? Build it back up, and it's just like, oh my gosh. But it's to see the vision manifest and come into fruition. I think that's pretty cool, right? Like
yeah.
your vision for this show, right? It's like you have an idea, but then when you look back probably and you see everything come together and manifest, the dialogue, the
Mm-hmm.
people, like you said, it's not the same people every week, so the dynamic is going to change. That can also change sometimes, with when you're building things. So yeah,
Yep.
so that's pretty cool. So I'm excited about that. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
it's a good day. It's a good day.
Nice.
And tomorrow's
Nice.
Friday, so that part
Yep. That part.
can't
That part.
complain.
That part.
For
That part.
those that are off on the weekends, yes, tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
yes,
Tomorrow is Friday.
is
Yeah.
Friday.
I have to decide if tomorrow's gonna be my Friday or my Friday.
Friday.
I'm gonna go in or yeah.
Not
Look,
going in.
if we're gonna see what's gonna happen.
I'm
Yeah.
here physically, but I'm not here mentally. Yeah,
Right. Right.
it happens.
Right.
Yeah,
We gonna see what's up. We gonna
but it
see
was
what's
good.
up.
It was
Y'all,
good.
I'm sorry for the delay here. Corey had to pop out. Um, her she was a little blurry and she was a little delayed, so she's gonna pop out and she'll be back in. But we're gonna get started while she's getting her stuff together. We're gonna get started with this thing, y'all. Okay. So the topic tonight is trust. Trust. Watch the video. I saw this video. And after watching it, I was like, you know what? When y'all watch the video, y'all gonna understand. Y'all are going to understand why I titled this Trust. Corey can't see you yet, babe. But let me play the video and then we're gonna get into this discussion. There she is. Corey, say something for me, babe.
Can you hear me?
Okay.
It's not
Yeah.
delayed anymore.
Nope, that's
Okay.
better. Yeah, I knew something was wrong. Something was going on. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna play the video and then we're gonna get into this discussion. I want you to enjoy. Let me do something real quick. Let me go back and you get on a single one. I've come as far as I need, as far as if, before I have a panic attack. Please, okay, Tyrone.
What?
Let me take you back and you get a single one. Just I'm going to have a panic attack. Okay.
I just need you to calm down.
I understand that. But can you do like can you just take me back?
Nah,
Come on, please.
because we already paid for this. They ain't gonna let us go back.
You can get a single one.
Okay, you just sit still. Let me handle this then. That's all you do. All right.
Hey, look. Tyrone, take a picture.
I am. It's recording,
It
Lisha.
is choppy out here. You should hear me talk.
It's recording.
Okay, wait.
Where y'all going, Lisha? Hey.
I want you to have I want you to enjoy yourself. Please let me go back, and you'll have an hour out here to yourself. Let me go back, please.
No, we're not going
Please
back.
let me go back.
Tamika, if you don't stop
I'm
it right
asking
now,
you nicely.
well, no, we're not going back.
I don't want to do it. Please let me go back.
No.
I'm never coming. When next time you
Okay, well, that's fine. I know.
please let me go back.
No, Tamika, you panicking for nothing.
That's what I said, Lisha.
Why are you heading back in?
Okay, hold on. It's too choppy. It's too choppy. It's nervous.
You got a damn life jacket
I
on.
know. It's too choppy.
Please don't egg that on,
No,
please.
I've been saying, please let me go back.
All right. All right. So is everybody kind of coming in on the couch and getting comfortable with the topic of trust?
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
I'm
Okay.
good.
Okay. All right. So, y'all, I'm gonna be honest. This video triggered me. Now, I I've never had this type of experience. I've never been with a man who just totally ignored any fears or anything that I had, or just put me out there and made me feel like I was literally on my own. I was literally on my own. Hey, Neil.
Hey, what's going
Um,
on?
hey, good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm good.
Okay, okay, all right. Did you see the video, Neil?
I did.
Okay, all right. We're gonna keep it moving. We're gonna keep it moving. Okay, so I want to hear you all's thoughts on that video. I don't want to give too much of my feelings, opinions, or whatever. I want to hear you all's thoughts on the video, and I want to start with Kevin.
Hmm.
Can I start
Well,
with you, Mr.
yeah,
Can I
no,
start?
no problem. I'm all for it.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
I think the brother was a bit dismissive, and worried about more so a financial loss than his woman's actual, probably real life fears. I mean, given the condition, just looking at the water, I would take her side. Yeah, let's roll back on in, and try this another day. You know, um, as it pertains to a relationship, I would say that, sometimes the man, being the man, like, look, I'm in charge, we're gonna do it this way, often forgets that, he has a partner that is equal. It's
mm,
just that, she's entrusting, you know, herself to his judgment. However, given that, that responsibility, you got to be mindful of your partner's vulnerabilities and her fears, and I think he dropped the ball right there, because when she gets back to shore, I'm quite sure she's going to light him up. She don't want to do nothing on that water because she want to make sure she get back on, dry ground. But yeah, he was dismissive and wasn't a good look. It wasn't a good look at all, at least
okay,
in my.
okay, okay. Don, what you think?
Yeah. I guess looking at the video initially, it looks like they were able to go out together, and she probably thought it was going to be fun. Like, right? We don't know the background. We don't know what she was thinking because obviously, for her to get in the water in a kayak, some people wouldn't even do that in the first place, right? A
Okay.
two-man kayak, right? So that's one thing. I think part of what, like Kevin was saying, you want to make sure that you have empathy and you're showing that empathy towards your mate, regardless. And so sometimes you can be stuck. This scenario we actually saw was a visual, but if you're stuck in the same boat together
Hmm.
and you can't go anywhere fast because they were away from the shore, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes in life circumstances, you're gonna be away from
Mm-hmm.
something where you
Come
can't
on.
quite get there and you can't get through it.
Come
But
on.
the thing is, you
Paint the
still in the
picture.
same boat
Hello.
together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
But if he's
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be, say, for instance, your protector, your provider,
Mm.
that particular, then like he's like, you were mentioning, you gotta sense that vulnerability, that fears, and I think if anything, it would be more so, okay, we out here, but reassure that
Mm-hmm.
individual that I got you. I'm not
Yep.
gonna let anything to happen to you. I got your back.
Mm.
And I think sometimes when you're in certain situations or circumstances, you have to be able to communicate that, but you also got to be able to feel your mate. And
Mm-hmm.
again, I think it was mentioned that you mentioned he was dismissive, right? So then it's like, okay, well, next time I go out, I might not trust you in this type of situation or certain situations, because I think you even mentioned down at PTSD, or it took you back, it triggered you to something that happened, right,
Mm-hmm.
in the
Mm-hmm.
past. And so I think that's the other thing, that all of us have some type of trigger or some type of fear or some type of vulnerability, and we need to be in tune and in sync with that. Even if it's something that is, it happens, like it could happen spontaneous. I thought
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna like this, but you know what? Nah, it's not for me. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right,
Well,
Mr. Neil. We're gonna do boy, girl, boy, girl.
Well, what was the question again? What I
What are
think of
your
the
thoughts
video?
on the video? Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't have even been out there in the first place, so none of that. You see these videos with these, whales swimming on the canoes and they bump them and they play with them. It's like, no. I need more boat, like a cruise ship size boat, to be out there.
From afar.
but
Okay.
um, but I mean, her fear was real. I mean, how she's like, I just need to go back. I just need to go back. So
yeah, of
I
course.
understand. He's the male, he's the man, and everything. But I mean, you also have to, think of your partner, your spouse, whoever she is to you at that moment. So I would have just turned the ship around. I mean,
Mm.
I've ran into that main event. Have you ever been to main event and they have the gravity ropes, the little obstacle course in the sky?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I went up there with somebody, and as soon as they were fine, but as soon as we get up there, they just need to go back, need to go back, need to go back. They just spazzed out, and I was like, okay, I'm walking backwards. I'm walking backwards. The same issue I had with some. Well, we went to spelunking one time, crawling on our stomachs in the cave, and I guess the cave was getting tighter, and we were crawling on our stomachs, and she just freaked out, just started crying. One, I was like, okay, let's everybody back it up, and it was like 8 of us, and we all had to crawl backwards, which wasn't easy to get. I mean that fear, and like you said, and it would create a PTSD. So next time you go out in the water or whatever, and they just have a new fear that you may have just created. So
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm. Okay. All right. All right, Corey.
Well, um, ooh, I want to dissect what happened, but that's not what you asked. You asked what I thought about it.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, I'm upset because when you go out there and you're entrusting someone to have your back, he is literally behind her. And for him, I guess because he wasn't worried, it didn't matter if she was, or he felt like she shouldn't be worried or she shouldn't
Hmm.
be upset.
Hmm.
And his response to her, to me, was a little, maybe disturbing is too strong of a word, but maybe not. It says a lot. And, yeah, it bothered me. because I've been afraid of things before, and a
Yeah.
person didn't take it seriously. And
Mm-hmm.
from then, I didn't trust that person with certain things.
Mm-hmm.
So I just, yeah, I was disappointed and disturbed.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think disturbed um is the wrong word.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't want to seem dramatic, but that was
Yeah,
just the,
I'm
you
about to
know,
be
listen.
dramatic.
Well,
I'm
let's
about to
go.
be
Let's go.
dramatic.
Because,
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Will Smith dramatic.
Huh?
Will
no.
Smith.
That's an
No.
Hey,
opposite.
Not
when I
Will
feel
Smith
like my
dramatic.
life is on the line, you darn tootin'. Slap.
Woo. So y'all, again, I entitled this topic tonight trust because to me the entire video was about that. It wasn't about her being scared. It wasn't about her being uncomfortable. It wasn't, all of those things played a part in it. But from the beginning, she did not trust. And I'm gonna go a little bit further. I was having this discussion with one of my homeboys earlier, and I made this statement to him. We were talking about the video because I was hoping he would join us tonight, but he's not able to come on with us. But I said, for me, one of the things I thought about was if she trusted him before even going out there, I felt like that, yeah, she may have gotten out there and, it could have been, oh, we're going to go canoeing, we're going to go paddleboarding, whatever it was. We're going to go do this. And she was excited about it or whatever. But even if getting out there, she felt, anxiety and she started feeling all these things and she was nervous or whatever, right? To not stay out there, because I jumped it, I went a little further with it. To not even stay out there with him. Did she even really trust him going out there in the first place? Like, was this, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try this. But I don't know, y'all. For me, that's where it took me. My thought was if she trusted him fully in the first place, would this have gone different? Like if she trusted him, they're out there and hey babe, I'm getting scared, I'm getting nervous or whatever. But when he said, just sit back, because y'all heard that part, right? He was like, just sit back, just don't do nothing. I got it.
Mhm.
If she really, really trusted him, she would have sat back. She would have had some nervousness and she would have had a little bit. I had this situation, not the full of the situation, but I went out, what you call it? Canoeing, paddle boat, whatever you call it, right? Over the
Kayak. Well,
summer.
they were in a kayak, but
Kayak. Thank you. Thank you. That I couldn't even think of it. I was in a kayak. I was in a kayak with my best friend. Me and B, Corey, me and Vincent
Mhm.
went kayaking over the 4th of July weekend. And I was a bit nervous. I was her kind of out there, right? Until because I'm like, he was like, no, we going way out. We gonna keep going. And he paddling. And I'm like, B, hold on, hold on, hold on. I really kind of like, and he said, D, he said, I got you. Although I was still nervous, there was some nervousness. I stayed out there. Why I stayed out there? Because the brother said, D, I got you. And I trusted him. I trusted him before we even went out there. So even though I was nervous, there was no kind of back and forth, back and forth. Now, again, that's just my feeling and my thought on it. My
Yeah,
homeboy was like, but my first mind in watching this was, I don't think she really trusted the brother in the first place.
I think she did.
Go
Me
ahead.
too. I
And
think
here's
she
why.
trusted him as well.
Because she went out there.
I don't think.
She
Yeah,
went out there.
I don't know if she would have really.
And
Yeah, in the first place, or she said, "Well, let's get separate separate kayaks because you got the
right.
single and then you got the
I'm
double."
sorry. I'm sorry,
So
y'all. Let me be, because I wasn't clear. I see now by y'all responses I wasn't really clear on what I was saying. I'm not talking about trusting the brother in the kayak. I'm not talking about trusting him just on the water. For
Yeah, I know
me,
what you're saying. I know what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying.
okay,
I think she trusts him. Okay. However, in situations, okay,
hold on, Jimmy, I
you,
got you.
determines a certain response. Okay. Now let's take the kayaking out of the thing for a moment.
Yes.
Let's say okay, man and a woman. Okay, this is something financial. Okay, he wants to invest in a business or maybe a property. Okay, so he takes her out to see that property. She goes in there and she looks around like, okay, is this on the up and up? Because it seemed like maybe there's a lot of foundational cracks, and there's a lot of stuff that's going on. But the person that's selling is like, oh, this is a good deal. Here, just
Mhm.
sign this, just sign this.
Mhm.
Now she trusting him. Okay, we're partners. Okay, you're the head of the household. You're gonna lead me. But a woman, and I'm not, trying to discard, the man's, his position. But women have that innate sense, that woman's, intuition.
Mhm.
And when little things don't seem right, they act on it. It's almost like, every other creature, when you can sense a storm coming. It's like, okay, I think it's time for us to go the other way. And sometimes we have to lean into our woman's understanding of things and say, okay, maybe this ain't the right time. And then in hindsight, you get back and like, yeah, I'm glad we got it because maybe that riptide would have just pulled us out there and we never got back. But trusting, it's a two-side thing because it's like, okay, I have to trust my woman too. It's like, okay, if she's saying this, she wouldn't be saying this to me for no reason at all. I mean, this fear is something real. So I think she trusts him. Is just that situation she wasn't comfortable, and I think he should have yielded to that and said, "Okay, baby, let's go on back and let's work on something different." So let me get your confidence up and show that okay, this is all right. Take it to a different setting where it's a lot more calmer, and you're going out there to build her confidence up because in all that's going to make the trust in him stronger. But going back to what I was saying about the property, Donna, for instance, I'll just use you for example. I'll just get very specific. If
Mhm.
you are involved with a man and knowing the things that you know about business, okay, and even property ownership, okay, and you're involved with this man and he takes you to this business, and okay, you're like, oh, this is a good deal, baby. This is all great. And you're going through the paperwork and you're like, wait a minute. I got to give up more money? And we put money in this guy's pocket. Where's the return? You're going to ring the alarm. You're going to like, oh. And he says to you, no, just trust me. And your mind says, you're like, nah, this ain't a good deal. I know what a scam or I know what something ain't good looks like. You're going to pump the brakes. And if this brother keep pushing, you're like, hold up, wait a minute. I'm not going to do this because I know better. Maybe because of prior experiences and whatnot, you're gonna slow it down. But you trusted the brother enough, and maybe because you already trust him enough to be in a relationship with him in the first place. Okay, so when does your intuition get acknowledged and like, okay, look, this ain't right? We can't be too full of our own personal trust as a man to say, okay, maybe my understanding of this isn't as good or great as what my woman may have, and maybe she knows something that I just don't know at this point. So let's
So
go back and lean on her judgment on her, so she can trust me, so I can trust her.
okay, okay. So I know everybody's waiting to kind of jump in on that. I'm gonna say, let me say, because Kevin, you said a few things, right? You said a few things. Um, I don't think the comparison of the being out there on the water and what you're talking about as far as home and finance and in the example you gave, I don't see the comparison lining up. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because for me, and and I'm gonna go out on a limb and say for most women, right? When you come into a relationship and you trust in that man, from my experience and what I've learned, right? There's an order to things. And if we're in a situation, because I'm gonna say my husband, because I'm not gonna put myself in a situation with someone unless they're my husband with that type of degree of thing, right? Um, and he says, "Hey, I think this is a good investment. You know, I want us to go ahead and do this." And I look at it and I say, well, okay, let me look at the paperwork too, of course, because that's what we're gonna do. Because guess what? In this relationship, that's what we're doing. And we come to a point where we can't agree. We can't really make a decision and kind of agree on the decision to be made with this situation. It's just me speaking on this. Guess what I'm gonna do? I'm going to trust him. I'm going to trust him to make that decision for us, for the family, for the household. Because if I do that, it goes beyond just trusting this moment of buying this property or whatever, right? Now, I know some people say you're not gonna go into a foolish situation. And I heard you say it being two-sided, and I definitely understand it needs to be two-sided. But if we're at this point and my husband is saying, "Hey, we're going to do this," and I can't quite agree with it, it's going to come down to me saying, "He's making that decision. I'm going to follow that decision." And now let me tell you, that's not an easy thing. It's not an easy thought. It's not an easy thing to do. And I think a lot of times women feel like they kind of lose themselves in that space. But if you're walking according to, and this is where I am, the word of God, and that order, if my husband says we're going to do XYZ and I don't really agree with it, I'm trusting you, sir. Whether if it flourishes or it fails, that's going to be on you. But I'm going to be there because I'm following you. I need somebody else to pick this up. Because Kevin, you for me, it kind of seemed to go a little bit of a different, not a different direction, but I get your point. I get what you're saying. So what I was saying, going out on the water, it wasn't just the water. To me, it felt like to me in watching that there was some lack of trust. Because if I'm out there, and like I said, when B said, D, I got this, that calm came over, and I was like, okay, he got it. We did. We had on life vest. So I trusted what I knew of him to watch over and protect me and look out for me. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying?
No, I
So
fully
I
understand.
stayed out there and I
So
enjoyed myself. And I came back and I was like, woohoo! Yes. Go ahead, Corey.
so so first I want to say she did trust him because she went out there. I listen, I can save my life. I can't help nobody else.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just trying to put myself in her shoes. If I'm getting into a contraption where my feet are locked in, I gotta slide in and my feet are in there. And if you turn over, you gotta flip. No, 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 nope, nope, nah, not gonna happen. Not with you, not with nobody. I'm not getting on that. I'll watch you. I'll take pictures. She got out there with him. Now, I don't know if she can swim or not. She might. And she might have thought it was a great idea. Maybe she's been out before, and maybe the waters weren't that choppy because the other person said, "We going back because the waters are choppy." And they looked like they were making a real effort to get out of the water because they weren't comfortable. Now,
Mhm.
also, what annoyed me too is he was filming before she ever said anything. So he already knew she was upset. Maybe she said something before, but he already knew she was upset. He's chilling, he's filming her. And then she says, "Hey, can we go back? Because blah 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 blah." He was already filming her. He knew she was upset. He didn't take it seriously. Not only did he not maybe he was comfortable, but he didn't to me he didn't really care that she was uncomfortable. He was already filming her. And okay, sorry, I had to look at my notes. And when she said, I'm sorry, when he said, just stop, just let me do it. His tone, he sounded
Yeah.
annoyed.
Yeah.
She stopped. She did stop. She just sat there real still. You could tell she was scared.
Mhm.
And then I feel like we could kind of see the waters. Then you saw people, and he was like, "Man, don't feed that into her. Don't feed. Don't take some pictures. Don't feed." Like it's almost like he was trying to prove, "I'm so comfortable. You should just be. You should just trust that we're good, or
Mhm.
I'm all right. So you should be all right." And that's not how that
Mhm.
works. When she said panic attack, that goes beyond trusting you. Panic attacks,
Mhm.
you can have people around you who can calm you down, but that's up here. That has nothing to do
Mhm.
with here and trusting him. That's bigger.
Okay.
Um, and then yeah, that's what I got.
Okay. Okay.
That's what I got.
Okay.
That's where I am. That's on my notes.
Anybody else want to jump in?
I was just gonna say, I think some of the things that were mentioned is prior prior experience, right? Was something did something occur before, right? We don't know. We don't know the background. We don't know what happened in the relationship, things like that. But going into where they were in the circumstance in that particular situation, what type of individual are you? And I think everybody's going to be different, right? Are you to, especially when you're a woman? Are you independent? Are you a control freak? Are you
Mm.
to that place where you can submit to be able to trust, right? To a certain point. Because it could have been, well, I trust you to get out on this water, but then to a certain point, I got a wall still up in this area, so I'm not going to trust you anymore. I think I've tapped out right now. Even if you tell me you got this, do I really think you got it?
Mhm.
And when you're in that particular, I think, situation, and I think it, like Corey said, it goes back to that your mindset, right? Your mind state. Then those are the things I think that you have to work out in any type of relationship,
Mhm.
right? Because again, you got to understand that, okay, well, I understand. I know your energy is to this particular point. I can only take her so far. I can only take him so far. I think
Mhm.
that still goes back to those triggers that we were talking about, or like somebody mentioned, panic attack, whatever. Everybody has something, right, that they're dealing with, and I think a lot of times, especially when we're in relationships, depending on where you are, what juncture of your life you're in, you're bringing stuff with you from past relationships, right? Or
Mhm.
from your childhood, or it could, all kind of things. It could be childhood trauma. It could be you teased as a teenager, whatever, whatever the case may be about certain things. Um, but do you really know that person? Do you really know that individual? And when they got to this particular point, I think we even talked. It was even mentioned before. Is like that intuition. Well, who gives in to who, right? Because I think sometimes, say for instance, a man, you might not be the expert in the area, but maybe my intuition or my discernment tells me, you know what? You said you got it. I'm gonna let you have it. And like you said,
Mhm.
okay, even if you don't have it, then guess what? We're gonna fix it together because none of us are perfect. But I
Right.
think it takes certain people because everybody is at a different levels of maturity to get to that point, regardless of what type of relationship you're in.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
I think
Mhm.
that's something that you got to constantly be working on, and that's why you got to have those type of conversations. Sometimes they're not comfortable, but
Right.
you have to have those type of conversations so that when you get into certain situations, you hopefully you get to the point where, okay, yes, she got it or he got it or whatever the case may be.
Mhm.
But sometimes I think, to me, I'm just going to speak personally. I would bring some of the baggage. Not that I purposely would do it, but I bring some of the
Here we
baggage
go.
because I'm like, no, that person said they had it. They didn't have it.
Right.
It took us this amount of time to get out of whatever, and I'm not doing that again. I'm
Right.
just real talk, right?
Mhm. Mhm. Right.
Also, the guy, when she said, okay, it sounded like she started to say, well, I'm not doing anything like this with you anymore. And he was like, all right, and that's fine. At that point, I'm sorry. I feel like now I think about it, I feel like he was just dismissive the whole time.
Yeah.
His tone, him filming, he didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
He did not care that she was afraid. His concern is that money, they gonna charge us.
Mm-hmm.
So you on this ride, you gonna stay here because they're gonna charge us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So we need to take this back a little bit. Um and I appreciate everything you all are saying. So let's back up a little bit. Let's go with what we do know. Let's discuss what we do know. Because we can say we don't know what happened before they got on. We don't, we can all say that. We don't know. But let's just work with what we do know. We know that they were kayaking. We know they were out in the water. We know she got nervous. Her anxiety started kicking up. She was afraid. She wanted to go back. We know he totally dismissed her fears. He dismissed everything she said. This woman literally was at a point of begging him. The man that she trusts, the man that she's with, the man that's supposed to be, let's go with what we know, what we can see. She's out there in that kayak with him. And when I said I don't think she really trusted him in the first place, I'm not saying that she totally had no trust for this man. What I'm saying was nothing he did, nothing he did secured her. Her fears, nothing. If he did, she wouldn't have been begging. It wouldn't have gone on and on and on. It wouldn't have happened. And I get what you're saying, Corey, about not going out there and being. I'm not talking about that natural fear that we know of something might happen and something. I'm talking about being with a person that if something bad does happen, or you see something coming down the trenches that's going to happen, that you don't trust them to protect you. And that's what happened here. That's what happened with her. Stuff was happening. And it may have just been for her in her mind. And she did not trust him enough after they had already gotten out there to calm her fears. To calm her fears. And what stood out for me is if you're in a relationship with someone and they can't calm your fears, if they are dismissing you, like Kevin said he did, like he did in that video, being dismissive, how is she supposed to trust him? The picture that I put up on Facebook is the word trust, and the last two letters are turning to truth. I saw that picture, I was like, that has to go on there. Because trust, the word trust, that ST was spinning to TH. Truth. Truth. Go ahead. I think I don't know if there's we have some a little bit of feedback. Neil, you wanna can you say something for me?
Hold on, let me unmute you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Okay. All right. I don't know where it's coming from. We have some feedback, but we're gonna try to keep going on it. Keep going on it. So that trust turning into truth. Her trust out there turned into truth. This brother don't really care about you. This brother had his concern was not that woman sitting in front of him that went out on that water trusting him. The truth. So what do we do? What happens when the truth, y'all? I need y'all to walk with me on this thing. The truth. Jimmy wants to see the video again, y'all.
Jimmy, it was not me. Leave me alone. And that's not how you spell my name anyway. There's an I.
So let me do this, y'all. I'm gonna play the video one more time. I want to play the video one more time. There, for the people that just came on as well, and because Jimmy's going to jump in with us, but we want him to have the good information. So here we go. Let me play it again, y'all.
I want you to enjoy. Let me do something real quick. Let me go back, and you get on a single one. I've come as far as I need, as far as before I have a panic attack. Please, okay, Tyrone.
What?
Let me take you back, and you get a single one. Just something I'm going to have a panic attack. Okay.
I just need you to calm down.
I understand that. But can you do like? Can you just take me back?
Nah.
Tyrone, please.
Because we already paid for this. They ain't gonna let us go back.
You can get a single one.
Okay, you just sit still. Let me handle this then. That's all you do. All right?
Hey, look. Tyrone, take a picture.
I am. It's recording,
It
Lisha.
is choppy out here. You should hear me talk.
It's recording.
Okay, wait.
Where y'all going, Lisha? Hey!
I want you to have I want you to enjoy yourself. Please let me go back, and you'll have an hour out here to yourself. Let me go back, please.
No. We're not going
Please
back.
let me go back.
Tamika, if you don't stop
I'm
it right
asking
now.
you nicely.
Well, no, we're not going back.
I don't want to do it. Please let me go back.
No.
I'm never coming. When next time you
Okay, well, that's fine. I know.
Please let me go back.
No, Tamika, you panicking for nothing.
That's what I said, Lisha.
Why are you heading back in?
Okay, hold on. It's too choppy. It's too choppy. It's nervous.
You got a damn life jacket
I
on.
know. It's too choppy.
Please don't egg that on,
No,
please.
I've been saying, please let me go back. Okay,
So y'all, I counted this time as I was listening. She asked him, begged him 17 times. 17 times. And this man told her no about 5 times. And a part of him saying no, one of them, I'm gonna say about 8 times, because he totally ignored her at the beginning. He wouldn't. She said 4 times, and then he came in with the calm down. Oh Lord, I don't like
Right?
calm down on dry land.
That makes me turn up. That's how I turn to the Incredible Hulk. Don't tell me to calm down. Who you?
Calm down.
Oh gosh. I'm back. I'm back. He wasn't talking to me. I'm
So
back.
calm down. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, begging him, telling him, asking him. Then there was the calm down. 5, 6, asking him, begging him. He said about paying for it. You already paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
7, she said it again. That's when he said, just sit still, sit back. She got quiet. Don pointed that out.
Yeah, he said, let me handle this.
He said, let
And
me
she
handle
did. She sat there.
And she got quiet. She did.
Yeah, but in the larger context, though, okay, taking it once again away from the I guess the video itself. Okay, we just look at the video. Okay, when you see someone rowing back, and it would look like the other couple, they wasn't out there playing around. They was literally like, okay, let's get on back. Okay, now let's get out the water. That whole mindset. When in life situation, you with your mate, and there's signs going off saying, hey, this ain't gonna turn out good if we keep going this way. Even though, even with your biblical sense, from a biblical sense, let's say, okay, you the man, I'm trusting you because, God has put you in charge of my life. Okay, yes, but you're in charge of that man's life too. And sometimes, okay, you have to step in and say, okay, look, baby, this is not it. At least today, this is not it. Okay. And a true man of God is going to be receptive of that. He isn't going to look like, okay, my woman is trying to usurp my authority. Like, okay, my woman is protecting me, perhaps from my own self and protecting the family as well.
Mhm.
because sometimes even with all that trust, you can get led right off a cliff. Okay, and he
Oh
can be the
yeah.
holiest of holiest of men, and his judgment can be not great at that
Oh
particular
yeah, yeah,
time.
yeah. Yeah.
So what
I
I'm
totally
saying,
go
what I'm
ahead,
saying
sorry.
in regards to that video,
Mhm.
okay, it's like, okay, look, okay, if you don't take any, if he didn't take any value in her fear, okay, there's two other signs in the same watercraft that's going the opposite way, and they look like they doing breakneck speed to get back. Okay, they ain't like no, they sitting there talking and stopping like, hey, yeah, we gonna just stop and chat it up. No, no, they was like, oh yeah, we going back because it's getting bad out here.
Yeah.
Light bulbs should go off and like, okay, look, I need to trust my woman. Maybe it's more than just fear. Maybe there's a legitimate reason.
Mhm.
Okay, and just move that over to regular life. Okay, my woman normally trusts my judgment all the
Mhm.
time.
But
But
she's
this one
questioning
time
you.
she is ringing the alarm like, hey, hey, hey,
Yeah.
that's God trying to tell that man, hey, bro, if anybody should be able to talk to you, it should be your wife.
Mhm.
Okay. And if she can't convince you, you know, I guess that's how I see it, you know.
Listen, and then he chided her like a child. Just stop. You panicking
Yeah.
for nothing.
Yeah. And Kevin, I agree with you on a whole. I definitely agree with you. So, the example I gave was not a confrontational example. So, yeah, can't hear you.
Ugh. I muted myself,
Yeah.
I don't want to get beat up by Miss Wilmington over there because she said a couple messages. Mute that mic, brother. I'm like, oh, I'm on this tablet. I'm still trying to figure it out on this tablet.
You good, you good. I think it was Neil that was kind of giving us the feedback. We love you, Neil. I think it was Neil that was kind of giving the feedback.
Okay, because I don't want no static. I'm trusting.
Hey, hey, Jimmy.
What's going on, sis?
Hey, how
Hey,
are you?
Jimmy.
Did you win?
No, it's almost over. We're in the last two frames,
Okay, okay,
but no,
okay. So
we're
I know how
losing.
that works, Jimmy. So, what's your thoughts, Jimmy? Tell us what you think.
Um, I'm only gonna work with what the video shows. Right, this guy was a very reckless man. He did not care about that woman's feelings. She was terrified of water. This had nothing to do with trusting him. This is her life, and he was very cavalier about it, and he was very disrespectful
Mhm.
and very dismissive. He went so far to say, "You got a life jacket on." You know how many people that drown with a life jacket on?
Right.
Yeah, them currents or something else. It suck it right down.
Yeah. Well, he was very, very dismissive of that lady's feelings. So, she had every right from this point forward to never trust him again
Yep.
because he was playing with her life,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
and I think that's the part we're overlooking. You know what I'm saying? Forget the relationship, forget all that stuff. This was a life or death situation for her.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. I totally agree. Yeah, I definitely believe we all agree with that one. She was she felt like that was it. That was it. And it could have been. It could have been. But she knew enough to keep calm enough. Um, so I get that point. I get that part. Um, but what I really would love for us to do, and we're doing it. We're doing it, and we get it that it was her life that he was playing with. So at that point, I agree with Jimmy. Ain't nothing else to be said. There's nothing else to be said. But remember, I talked about that picture went from trust to truth, right? From trust to truth. So when we're in situation, and this was I feel like a pretty dramatic situation, whether it's on dry land or it's on water. The fact that and I get, and again, for me, that foundation for me, you don't put your trust in man. And I know that means what it means in that biblical sense. You don't put your trust in man. But we're talking about two people in a relationship who have gotten to that point where of course we have to trust each other. We're in a relationship. We're in a marriage. We're in a, you know, we're trusting each other. We have to have that trust for one another. But when situations happen like this, again, whether it's on water or dry land, I cannot trust you. I cannot trust you. Thank you. Oh, can you guys mute for me, please? I cannot trust you. I cannot trust you with my life. I cannot trust you for the little basic and small things, I feel. He showed that. I was looking at all the things he was saying and just his character. He was showing his character in that whole thing, which says she don't just get this on the water. So when you're dealing with a person that you cannot trust, when it starts out with trust and it turns into that truth, how do we handle that? How do we handle that? Give me y'all thoughts on how do we handle that? Because again, she went out there on the water. She went. Let's look at this symbolically. She went out there on the water. She was trusting him. She was in this relationship. She moved with him into this relationship. When your trust turns into truth, whatever that truth looks like, how do we handle that? Because she was stuck.
Well, I will say this. Um, just using this particular example, he has created more of a problem for their future than he's probably aware of. Um, and how you handle it is going to be people or person specific because everybody's going to deal with it differently.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are going to try to talk their way through it. Some people's mind going to be made up like, you know what, I'm done with you. You're an idiot. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think there's a necessarily a wrong way because this person showed you that they do not have your best interest at heart in a life threatening scenario.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I you know, her trust, as you're saying, turned into truth from the standpoint of, hey man, the truth is you really don't care about me. I trusted you. Now I realize you really don't care about me. You were
Right.
willing to sacrifice my life for your funky ego.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like I said, I think he caused more problems for himself than he's probably aware of.
Yeah. Yeah. Characteristic. That characteristic, boy. That's just made me feel this is who this brother is. And this is who he is
Oh,
and
Donna, I'm with you 100% on that one.
yeah, this is
I'm
how
with you
he moved.
100% on that. That's probably more than likely his nature and
Mhm.
how he moves in that relationship. Because there is no way in the world any reasonable human being in that circumstance would have responded the way he responded.
Right. Right. Right.
And then doubled down, saw another couple, like he
Yeah,
said, break that key, trying to get back
that's
in, and then doubled down on it. Don't reinforce her fear. And
that's
then,
exactly when I made
right.
my determination. I said, so this fool ain't gonna listen to no cues.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Okay,
He gonna get
all
them
right.
both killed.
You know,
Mhm.
there was another. I mean, there was a couple of things happening, right? So you saw the couple. They said they were going back. We saw the waves, and if you looked at the sky, it looked like I don't know if it was getting dark or it looked like it might have a storm was coming or
It looks
something like
stormy,
that.
yeah.
It looked like it was about to
Mm.
storm, right? But the thing is, I think the key thing we talked about earlier was he talked about the money,
Mhm.
and like you were just saying, Jimmy, you're talking about our life. So
Mhm.
you worried about the money or getting reimbursed versus and life meaning not just their lives being could be in jeopardy, but life is in life changing for her because she was going through. She said, "I believe I'm gonna have a panic attack." All right, you're like those things are real because people just don't have that, right?
Right.
Anxiety, panic attacks, things like that. Look, these are real emotions or things that she was sharing with him, and he had total. disregard for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Total disregard. Total disregard. So, again, this is real life relationship growth. This is real. Everything we talk about doesn't always turn out as okay. We want to grow from situations, but sometimes we got to sit in situations, and like you all mentioned and Jimmy said, you know, people are going to handle things different ways. We're going to handle them according to who we are, and how we move. Right? We're going to do that. But I want to kind of point on, I want to point toward the fact that this man had no regard for her. And this can go both ways. This can go both ways.
Mm.
We pulling this thing of trust out, trust turning into truth. And you find yourself in a position or a relationship that your trust turns into truth. And you have to make a decision for yourself. You have to make a decision. Is this where I need to be? Is this where I need to stay? I'm never for advocating for families to break up. Never, never, never am I advocating for that. But what I am advocating for is not to allow yourself to be abused in any manner at all. In no type of way at all. There is no place on this earth that you should be where you feel fearful of your life,
Yeah.
where you are fearful for your children. You don't know what's going to happen from here to there under the name of love, under the name of being somewhere and being with someone. So your trust turning into truth, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all, this is kind of taking a little bit of turn from me in this moment, because the direction I wanted to go with this and the direction I was thinking was, we want to talk about trust. We want to talk about the importance of it in relationships. And of course, we're talking about that and we've been talking about that. But this brother gave us an example of why loving yourself is the greatest love of all. Man or woman should never, ever, ever be in a situation, be in a relationship, whether it's your spouse, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your sibling, your parent, your cousin, your uncle, your ever, ever, never, ever. And we have to find ways. And here we go, Kevin. That bell, ding, ding, ding. Counseling will get you there. It will get you to that place where you realize, I deserve better. I need better. I want better. I want better. So, just with that little twist of it, y'all, because that was a little twist. What are y'all thoughts on that trust turning into that truth? What advice would you give, or what would y'all say to a situation that turned like this one did? And again, I think this is his brother's character, and I don't know what this lady has been dealing with. Go ahead, Kevin.
I would say, trust is very hard to earn, well, to get, but it's very easily lost. I mean, so we have to take care of that trust. We have to be mindful of, the work that is required to, get someone's trust, and just how easy it is to lose it. So
Hmm.
if a person, you know, has shown you over time that they can't be trusted, you know, you have to, cut that rope, and and get your distance. Because if not, you're gonna be a victim of your own, you know, your own decision to stay. As
Hmm.
painful it is to walk away from someone, when someone shows you who they are numerous times, you know, you can't, look to other reasons as why this person is bad. You know, I mean, I've seen a lot of people, including myself. God, show me a sign. Show me a sign. And boy, God is giving you every sign imaginable. Besides throwing a Bible at your head and saying, "Okay, what?" Okay, and then we ignore it. And then we just say, oh, it's the devil. No, it's not the devil. You are choosing to ignore exactly what this person is and what they're about. They don't take into account your feelings or how you feel. Okay, it's about them. And when it becomes about just them and not a us or we, it's time for you to do you. Like bye. So we have to take heed of those signs that are obviously clear, and not have this trauma addiction where we're gonna stick this relationship out because you know what, I'm tired of being lonely, or I don't work too hard, I invested too much in this woman or this man, I'm not just gonna leave. No. Okay, is it worth you losing all of yourself, your soul, just so you can say, "Well, I stuck it through."
Mm.
No, no. So we, if a woman has entrusted me with her trust, I'm doing everything to protect that and to edify that trust. So like, look, you ain't got to worry about it. Hey, you know what? You ain't feeling this right now. Okay, let's fall back. We can try this again some other time. Damn the
Mhm.
money, because the money don't mean a damn thing. I need you.
Mhm.
So I think that, if he would have reassured her on the basis of that, he would have been good right there. Like, you know what, baby? Okay, you ain't feeling it right now. Forget this money. Go back, because that would have drove over conversation. You know what? My man really cares. And they could have discussed in the back, like, yeah, you know what? I have a fear of this. And then, like you said, that bell, bing, 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 maybe it was a trauma response. Baby, what? You afraid of the water? Let's go talk to somebody about it. Okay. Let's get some counsel. Let's get to the bottom of this and figure it out. So the next time, perhaps we won't have this. But he didn't show none of that. So if he's doing this throughout the relationship, nah, baby girl, step, or tell him to bounce, whatever. Hey, give him my telephone number. I would be the bearer of bad news for him. Okay. My sister said bounce. And that's that.
That's that.
And
What you
Donna,
got,
I don't want to
Corey?
get off. I'm not sure if this is off subject, but you know, I'm pretty sure before that video, before that, I'm pretty sure she's used to that behavior because I'm pretty sure this is not the first time he's been like this.
Mhm.
Yeah, the way he shut her down.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I guess what got me is when he said, "Oh, well, you got the life jacket." I'm like, "Oh, hold up, bro." Normally I'm with the brothers and saying, "Okay, you have to go ahead and push through." But when he said that and the way that he said it, I'm like, "Nah,
Yeah.
nah, bro,
Yeah.
you're wrong. You're wrong."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she has some level of comfortability with it. I mean, she's dealt with this time and time again. So I mean, it becomes when is enough enough.
Enough. Yeah.
But when we said it a couple episodes back, we teach people how to treat us.
How to treat us.
That's right.
Yep.
Right.
And okay, so until she puts a stop to it, it's going to continue. And I'm quite sure out off that water on land, he's just as bad.
Just as
I
bad.
got to be quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why it kind of took me in that way and thought more of self-preservation, taking care of yourself and making sure that, like you said, we teach people how to treat us. And if they're not moving in a manner that that helps us to feel safe, secure, and that's man or woman, and that we can trust them and open up to them and be able to speak our truth without being shut down or and there's a way to do that. But sister girl, I think her calmness was, part of that was her fear. Like, I don't want to literally rock the boat, but I don't want to rock the boat figuratively either, because this
Right.
man is not hearing me.
So Donna, you
Mhm.
said something earlier about self-love is the greatest love. According to the Bible, it says the greatest love is a man who would sacrifice his life for a friend.
A friend.
right? Now,
Right.
if he genuinely loved her, he would have sacrificed money, he would have sacrificed inconvenience, he would have sacrificed what he wanted to do to ensure that she felt safe in that moment. But clearly, that is not the stance he took.
Yeah. Yeah. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Yeah, this yeah. Again, this thing kinda just it hit me, it triggered me. I was like, "Oh my gosh." Like, I 'cause I know I've never dealt with this type of man directly personally, but I've seen and heard men like this to feel like, "You know what? Just the way he did, just the way he does." You know, we out here. We gonna do this thing. And no, I'm not gonna let her give up. No, I'm gonna let her try. You need to go ahead and try. Because if you don't try, you'll never know. That's not even necessary. We talking about. Go ahead, Corey.
I was gonna say, because I don't remember who said it, but was like, he's been this way, and I believe he probably has. But that
Hmm.
doesn't mean that they've been in, like, for her, a life or death situation.
Right.
Because that type of speech in another situation could sound like coaching. It could sound like, baby, I got you. Don't worry about it.
Right.
Trust me, you're going to pull it back like this and let that arrow go, and you're going to hit the target. I know you will. Do you know what I'm saying? But in
Hmm.
this situation, or I could be dismissive that you can't make a basketball and a hoop. You can do it. Like, trust me, listen, just nope, don't be scared. You got it. Ain't nobody gonna boo you because you made a brick. It's okay. Keep going. That
Hmm.
could sound like, oh, I can trust this guy. Sit back and chill. But in this situation, you take that same language and it's like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Now I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Because I've met people like this where
Hmm.
initially it just seemed like he was a masculine guy because that happens to be what I'm attracted to.
Right.
So I enjoy the fact that you could say, I got you. And I'm like, okay, cool. But if I say I'm not comfortable and you're like, I got you. Hey, I get you got me, but I'm not comfortable. Relax. I got you. We just gonna stay on the water. Nigga, we going back. I said, I'm not feeling it. Let's go. Like, I don't no, at this point, that's not gonna work. I'm
Right.
panicking, I'm upset. So I think even though he probably is like this all the time, the situation can change. If the situation is one where I'm fearful for my life, then you telling me I'm okay is completely different.
Completely different.
You know what I mean? It just depends on the situation.
Completely different. Yep. Completely different. Whew. Mm,
How many of you all believe, based on this video, that she was somewhat uncomfortable in water?
I believe, be honest, he probably convinced her to be out there on the water, to be honest. Like, cause
My point exactly. So she, did you all get the sense that she wasn't really comfortable being on water?
yeah. That she wasn't comfortable being on the water.
Mhm.
Say
Mhm.
again. Right.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
guys, let me tell you, I'm a Navy man. I love the water. I love to swim. I've been on several different, you know, continents in big bodies of water. And one thing I can tell you
Mhm.
all about a person who has a fear of water, the last thing you want to do
And getting on.
is put them in a small goddamn boat when you introduce them to
Mhm.
water. That's just
Mhm.
dumb as a box of
Mhm.
rocks. And
Mhm.
so it just what this video literally encapsulated the type of thought process this brother exhibit. Because I'm thinking to myself, like, my wife is not afraid of water and she's not a strong swimmer. So when I my first little boat that I bought for me and my son to fish on, it was this little 2-man little pelican boat, right? I knew my wife wasn't gonna get on that boat.
Get
You know
on
what I'm
that.
saying? She was like, "Nah, bro, that's too close to the water. Nah, player." But then I bought a bass boat. Now she saw the bass boat. She was like, okay, I'll get in that one. Like, yeah, that looks stable. You know what I'm saying? It don't
Mm-hmm.
look like if I move this boat gonna flip over kind of thing, right? Now, and this is a
Mm-hmm.
woman who's not afraid of water, but at the same time, she's not an avid swimmer. You know what I'm saying? So she's like,
That's
okay,
called a
you
healthy
know,
respect. It's called a healthy
exactly.
respect.
So my point is this: I would have never coaxed my wife to get on no darn no kayak,
Kayak.
to go out in the water knowing she terrified of water. That just did not make sense to me. And like you all said, and we'll probably repeat this till we're blue in the face. Every single comment that man made in that woman's distress
Hmm.
was a red flag. Every comment he made was a red flag,
Everything. Yep. Yep.
right? Because every comment he made was basically to secure whatever his desire was,
Yep,
not to secure her fears.
that's good.
Yep.
And so, um let's just say, if we did an after action report, if I did an after action report with them, they called me, somebody referred them to me. The first thing I would say after seeing that video, I would say, man, listen, I want you to watch this video, and I want you to tell me, if you see three things here. I
Hmm.
would ask, do you see a man who is keeping his significant other safe?
Safe.
Do you see a man who is showing any level of concern? And do you see a man that's using wisdom?
Hmm.
I would
Hmm.
ask him, though, look at this video, the one that you recorded, and tell me, which one of those three things do you see being exhibited in this video? And at that point, I would ask her, hey, on the next session, you can come back. But he and I would have a one-on-one
Yeah.
that particular session, because I would want to dive into his brain to figure out what is his motivation. Like, dude, what made you think that was okay?
At one point, it was his ego. If
Well,
it's
well,
storms rolling in and the
let,
boat is rocking,
but Corey, before they even got on the water, he had a thought process that wasn't healthy.
Right.
hmm
Right. Yep.
So I'm
absolutely.
I'm going. I want to go to the root of it. You know what I'm saying? I know we all saw what was displayed, but
hmm
what made you so comfortable to even be that way in the
To be
first
that way.
place?
Yep.
Mm.
That's what I would want to know, right?
Yep.
Because when you're trying to really problem solve, if you don't get to the root of why the problem existed,
Hmm.
the problem is going to revisit itself all the time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So get to the root of it, kill the root of it, and it'll never appear again,
That's
right?
why that's why I said, I'm sorry. That's why I said at the beginning, y'all. I think that's why my mind went the way where it did. That she did not trust him. Even though she went out on that water, when I'm watching this video and her actions, the way she reacted, the way she was being, then the way he was being, nothing in me said that she trusted him. There was a reason she went out on that water. And honestly, I felt like she did it to try to appease him. Cause she know what type of Negro she dealing with. And the point is, to point to that is, we have to we have to get to a point individually where we don't allow actions like this to dictate our lives. Again, I'm not an advocate for people breaking up. But if you dealing like this, bruh, sis, you need to run from it. You need to move. That's why I said, that's why the thought came over me and the thought watching it. She didn't trust that man in the first place. Because even
Well,
once they got out there, go ahead. Somebody said, well,
I was just saying, I was just going to say, well, I can't assert with any level of confidence if she trusted him prior to getting on the boat. But here's
mm,
what I can say. I can clearly tell you that woman was not comfortable on the water. I think
Yeah.
it wasn't about, I don't think her trust was about him. I think her trust was she just didn't trust being on that water, and especially in that little old boat.
yeah, I get that. But my
But
point
what
to the
he definitely did, though, Donna, what he definitely did,
He killed it.
he definitely made her say, "I ain't gonna trust you for in the future."
Ever, ever, ever,
Mhm.
never.
Yeah.
Ever, ever, never. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that was the point. That was the point to the topic, y'all. Not that she not let's get away from the water. Let's get away from the kayak. Let's get away from that scene. Let's just talk about the action and reaction in the verbiage, in the wording, in the body language, in the response. You know what I'm saying? The
Oh
trust.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, all that's gone. Like
Yeah.
it started. It initiated on the water,
Mhm.
but that lack of trust now has seeped into every other aspect of their relationship now.
Everything.
And you know, we
Everything.
keep all the receipts, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
I'm just, yeah, I'm serious. On both, I think
17
on
of them.
both, I think on both ends, we keep
Yeah,
the
that's right.
receipts,
Yeah.
We
and we
always
can
keep receipts,
forgive, but we cannot forget, right?
and you
And
would be a
so I
fool to
think that's
forget.
some things that compound
That's
in a
right.
relationship, or can be compounding in a relationship. And
Yeah.
he kept doing that even within his conversation, right? The
Right.
dialogue, like you said, back and forth. It didn't make it any better.
Yeah.
I think he could have saved himself at some point in time, but it was just the way the dialogue was going, and he just kept continuing, just
Yeah.
negating on her feelings, her emotions, and her thoughts. Not even, okay, well, babe, why do you feel this way? Or just trying to really maybe understand or reassure her that they were going to be okay.
Yeah.
So
Man,
So
that dude was not concerned about any of those
Absolutely
things you
not.
just
that's
at
what,
all.
listed.
yeah, yeah.
At all.
He was
Yeah.
not concerned about any of those things that was listed, which is why we did not hear him doing any assuring or reassuring because he didn't care. He wanted to be
He
on
did
that
not
boat,
care.
not her.
He did not care. That's why y'all point of I made the example of when I went kayaking with my best friend. I made the example of that because although there are fears and walking into relationships, because we have past things and whatever, and we all have past things, walking into relationships, we have these things that we want to make sure that we're working on, for one, for ourselves, that we're not dragging it in, as opposed to taking it in and dealing and working from them. But it requires that other person to, even when you come with your traumas and issues, even with the stuff that you ain't even realize, until that situation triggers you, how they respond to it. How they respond. I watched a video earlier this week, and the gentleman was saying, women, ladies, how a man treats you in moments of adversity, you better pay attention to that. Because how a man treats you, especially in moments of adversity, you better watch. You better listen. You better pay attention to everything he's saying and what he's doing when you're
That's
feeling
that,
a certain way.
that's
When
that's a that's a wise nugget for both male and female.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah. Yeah.
That nugget right there, that's not even gender specific.
Right.
Because let me just say this about relationships. It is easy for everybody to make it seem like it's fun and great when everything is easy.
Mhm.
It's under pressure and difficulty that your true character is going to be
True
revealed anyway.
character. That's
Right.
right.
You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? If you want to know if you have a woman that is really a partner, a teammate, watch what she does when you're down on your luck.
Mhm. Mhm.
If you
Yep.
want to know if you got a good teammate or a partner or a good husband, watch what he does when you're down on your luck. Now, let me be very clear, guys, because Donna, I'm big on patterns of behavior, right?
Right.
I'm not referring to a situation where he done made 50 dozen bad financial decisions and on 51 you finally bounced. I'm
Right.
not talking about that one because he has a history of making bad decisions. I'm talking about this man has given you or this woman has not given you any reason to doubt them, but something, some bad luck befalls y'all, and the first thing you think about doing is escaping.
It's bouncing.
That is not a person you can trust.
Right.
That's not a person that you can have long term.
Right.
Yeah, pressure can make diamonds, but it can also bust pipes.
Sure can.
You
That's
darn
right.
right.
That's
You
right.
darn right. And
Yeah, I
all it
was.
got to be is a little old fragile old copper pipe too.
Yep. 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 So yeah, I was dating this guy one time, and probably about 8 months in to dating him, we were having a conversation, and I said this to him previously, but I don't know if it just didn't hit home. But I made the comment and I said, I'm not really, I'm not trying to go to the next level until I see someone at their worst. I need to see you at your worst. And he was like, see me at my worst. Like, why would you want to see me at my worst? I said, no, let me, try to explain what I'm saying. I need to see you when things are not at their best. You lost your job. There was a situation where I mean, losing your job was like the first one I would say. You're losing your job. Your income has changed. Your health has changed. I need to see how you are in those situations, in those instances. And if I haven't seen you in those instances, or I haven't seen a guy in those areas or whatever, I'm not making that decision to move to the next level. Cause it's all well and good when things are good, when things are well. I always say it's not what you go through, is who you are going through it and how you come out of it. That's the person I need to see. That's the person I need to see. I don't deal with it. But he still could not grasp it, which is one of the reasons we are not together today. He he could not comprehend what I was saying. Why would you want to see me at my worst? Now you want to see me down. Now you want to see me fail. Huh? Mm-mm. It's not what I was saying at all. I don't want to see you fail, but I need to see what it looks like when you are failing.
Oh
I
yeah,
need to look like.
those character, a person's character. Yeah, you'll see that when they're at their worst. Okay,
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
I know I've been there and I've been there recently. So
Mhm.
the video, this whole video about trusting. Um, I've been there. I share a little thing. I used to work for the post office. Well, I'm still considered postal, but I took military, not military retirement, but postal retirement, um, because I had some heart issues where I went down on a job and I actually got cardioverted, where they actually had to shock your heart back into rhythm. And I
Hmm.
had a lot of trauma from that. And for a while, I was afraid to walk out and just walk because every
Hmm.
time I did something physical, I thought I was going to drop dead.
Hmm.
And I had to get past those fears. And everyone was telling me, "Hey, you got this, you got this." But they sort of disregarded what I was actually feeling until a cardiologist said, "No, you got SVT," and that was brought on for me using a lot of supplements while I was working out and all that.
Hmm.
So once I got to the root cause of everything, that's where I started trusting, because now I knew exactly what was the trigger. And, you know, obviously I'm a lot better. I've gotten better, and I have plans of going back to the post office, but not as a carrier. But
Mhm.
that whole trust thing, it's something that, you have to build up. And when you have something that's traumatic, you have to go through the process of healing,
Yeah.
and in that counseling, you get what you need to do so you can get above that fear. Okay.
Mhm.
Amen.
When it comes to that relationship stuff, I mean, you can do counseling, but I'm a firm believer God has given all of us, common sense. He gave us this big old
Mhm.
brain, and unlike any other creature He's created, well, we can think things through. And it's like, okay, if someone is being toxic in your life, or the energy is draining and always bring negative vibrations to you, that's God saying, hello. Whatever language you speak in, he's saying, hello, my child.
Mm,
Leave. Okay. You ask for Prince Charming, he ain't in. You ask for, this beautiful queen, this ain't your queen.
mm-hmm.
Now, if you decide to stay with this person, what that's gonna be to your own detriment. Don't come knocking on Jesus' door saying, rescue me. He did. But you said no. So so we have to recognize these signs and because older like I am, you don't want to waste your time on people who just ain't gonna be right. I mean, people are literally telling you who they are. I mean, like,
Yeah.
yeah, this is me.
Hmm.
Well, you have a choice to make,
Yep.
to the left or to the right. I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying
Donna,
to the left. you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Donna, you hit something real. I want to see people how they respond under adversity, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that's why I always share with males. Don't you go to the next level until you see her without all her makeup on,
That's
Woo,
right.
without no
yes.
Spanx
That's
on,
right.
without
That's
Talk
none of
that,
that,
right.
my brother.
without none
Yes.
of her beauty. Because
Woo.
what you don't
Finally.
want to do is have yourself you done
Oh,
put this figment of what she really is, and then she started taking off all that stuff,
Yeah.
oh
and you
man.
realize it's a whole nother creature up under there.
Under there.
Woo,
You
my brother.
you
That's
you
Woo.
need to
right.
see
Oh
everything.
man.
That's right. Yeah. Look, before you can run off into that, oh, I trust you, and oh, let's do this, and oh, let's do that.
Mm,
And it's, yeah, you have to see that. It would be
Yeah.
foolish not to.
Oh man.
But
Oh my God.
I was,
I
I
feel
was
like
gonna say
jumping
that
up and down. Oh my goodness. That
Go
man
I
ahead,
just
think,
Don.
I think certain individuals, though, I think it depends also on the type of relationships you've been in as well,
Mm-hmm.
because we talked about these different flags, or we talked about knowing, right, when something is right or something is wrong. But some people have been in relationships that have been toxic, and to them, they think that's normal.
They think it's normal.
I mean, we got social media, we got even talk shows or reality shows that condone this stuff. Like say,
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah, it's okay to treat her this way, or the music say, okay, it's okay to talk to her that way. And then you got some women that take it,
Right.
right? And
Right.
so it's like I think it still needs to come to a place where you educate, like we're doing
What's up, buddy?
now, right? And you try to teach people like, hey, what does it mean? I think we talk.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody had their different perspective, right? When we went around, and then same with men. What does it mean to be a king and be respected and not being disrespected and things like that? But if you've never been taught that, and you've been in those type of relationships that it's okay to talk to each other any type of way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's a whole. I know that might be a whole different subject, but when we're talking about trusting somebody, and being in certain relationships, you have to look at how different people are going to look at it. And everybody doesn't look at the things, I think, the way we are conveying them tonight, or, everybody's
Mm-hmm.
perspective is going to be different. And they're going to be like, no, you know what? She should have listened to him. He is the
Yeah.
head. And
That's what
and
I'm
it
saying.
doesn't matter what her doesn't matter what her feelings are, or she shouldn't have got in the boat in the first place. You,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
it sounds like I get it. We're taking it. Maybe I'm playing a little devil's advocate, but all of us, okay, we're taking for the woman's side. But I can see people looking at, well, dang, why she get in the boat in the first dang place?
Yeah.
No, no, no. Actually, that's what I think.
Yeah.
Like if you know you were terrified of the water,
Hmm.
why did you get in that boat in the first place? That would have been my first thought, right? But let's just say she attempted
Mm-hmm.
to go on this adventure with her man.
Mm-hmm.
And once she got out there and started feeling, because let me tell y'all something about a kayak. if you've never been in one.
Woohoo.
You can feel the rumbling of the water on your butt.
Yes,
Yes.
because you're
You,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And at some point you start to feel how unstable this craft
It
really
actually
is.
is.
Yeah.
So if you're already terrified and you start to experience these things, it's okay for you to say, hey, I
Yeah.
was gonna try this, but look, yeah.
Time to go
So
back.
yes,
Yeah.
those things you could easily say, why'd you get in that boat in the first place? But now that you did, and now you're experiencing what you're experiencing, now this other person has a responsibility as well too to be considerate of the fear that you're experiencing.
Why'd you get in that relationship in the first place?
Hey,
Why'd you go up
listen,
on that bungee in the first place?
listen,
Mm.
Donna, you know, in 21 years of doing what I do with relationships, in my head, I'm thinking to myself,
What? What?
why y'all together in the first place?
Uh huh. Uh
Because
huh.
you all thought this from the very beginning.
Uh huh.
And let me tell you the truth. Let me just tell you the truth. It's unfortunate, but more relationships than not, people are together because they had needs at the time that they met, and the
Yep.
person could fulfill certain needs,
Yep.
Mm,
whether it was financial, whether it was trauma bonding, whether it
Hmm.
was whatever it was. I needed somewhere to live. You know,
Yep.
whatever the scenario was, that person had a need that superseded common sense.
Common sense.
And
mm,
so they try to have a need met. Don't forget, Maslow's hierarchy of needs are for real.
Mm-hmm.
mm,
You know, some people will go off the rails to make sure that they feel safe, to make sure they can provide for themselves. And we know the extent people will go to quote unquote provide for themselves. That's why prostitution is one of the oldest professions in the world. That's
Oldest.
why drug dealing is a real thing. That's why, people will go to a certain, I mean, just unthinkable lengths
Mm-hmm.
for financial security. You see what I'm saying? So,
Mm-hmm.
but when we talk about this scenario, I mean, I don't think it doesn't take a relationship expert to see that this guy genuinely does not care enough
Yeah.
about this woman.
Yeah.
Not at
Yeah.
all.
It
mm.
doesn't.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
at all.
You
It
don't have
doesn't.
to have any years of experience at relationship coaching to see that this man just did not care about that lady's.
Yep.
When I saw that video, I instantly said, "What if that was my girl Corey B out there with her man on this little boat,
Right.
and
He
she
would have
want
been
to come
choked
in?"
out. He would have been choked out.
I would have texted.
He
I
would
would
have
have
wrapped
said,
that night life
"Look." I was
preserver
like,
around
I was
his
like,
neck.
hey, I was like, hey, I was like, hey, sis, you know you on live, right? Yeah, that Negro filming you. You on live. So
Mm-hmm.
I want you to stay calm
She would have put
Mm-hmm.
and
it on
just
mute.
and
She would have
just
put it on mute.
tell me where you at. Where
Yep.
are you? I'm
Mm-hmm.
coming. I'm coming to get you.
That's right. Right. Stay
Yeah,
calm.
because
Get
yeah,
back to shore.
yeah, stay calm.
Stay calm.
Don't
Get
panic.
back to shore.
Don't
And when
panic.
you get close, you're gonna see me like this.
Yep,
That's me.
bro. I mean, no, seriously, all jokes aside, I literally just put myself, I was like, what if that was one of my daughters? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Boy, I would have been 38 hot.
Hot.
Ooh,
You
sorry.
hear me? I would have been 38 hot. I would have been like,
Yeah.
bro. And I would have went to him. I would say, bro, you didn't consider the fact that she was in fear of her life,
Mm-hmm.
and you talking about they charging us?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. He would have learned that day.
Yep. He
Yeah,
definitely would
because
have.
we would go fishing. I'd be like, hey, you want to go fishing?
I know that's right. I know that's right. Take
Yeah,
them
yeah.
fishing.
We can go
Godfather
back out.
style.
Yeah,
Godfather style.
we can go back out on the water. We can go back
Yeah,
out.
Say a
Mm-hmm.
Hail
yeah.
Mary.
Listen.
We can go back.
But talking about triggers,
Trust.
that's one thing I think we were talking about earlier. And I had an experience just like that on the water, but it wasn't in a kayak. It was an actual boat, like a big old pontoon boat.
Mm-hmm.
And we were in Mexico. We went on one of those excursions where they take you on an island, and it's like across the
Hmm.
bay, right? That we
Right,
went.
right, right.
Well, coming back, there was a storm coming in, right?
Hmm.
So we're going back across the bay. The waves are way higher than our boat. Matter of fact, they had to slow down the boat so it wouldn't capsize.
Right.
Waters flood, coming into the boat. I
Mm-mm,
mean, people, we
mm-mm,
fearing for all of us, fearing for our lives, right? So
Mm.
finally, about an hour out there on the sea, I guess the people radioing in were like, "Why are you even out there? There's a system coming in." So the water was too rocky, the waves were too high, and they had us out
Right.
there on the dang water. And they the professionals that we trusted,
To
right? That
take
we
y'all out there.
paid,
mm-mm,
that had us out
mm-mm,
there,
Right.
right?
mm-mm.
And then
Yes.
eventually they were like, "Nah, you got to bring them on in." So they brought us, they cut across, brought us in, and then we had to bust our way, back to
Back.
where we were staying. But sometimes you are in that boat, and like she was, you do. I can relate. Look, you do trust that person or those people, but then what can you do? I
Then they
think
betray it.
that's the key. There you
When they
go.
Yeah.
You feel
betray.
betrayed.
Right.
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
I think
You feel
just
betrayed. You feel they didn't have you. They didn't have you
right,
to protect
right.
you.
I think that woman did exactly what a smart person should do.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Stay
She
calm.
stopped. She stopped
Right.
talking. She
Stop
stayed
Mm-hmm.
talking.
calm
Talk
because
less. Yeah.
if she had a panic or kept arguing, that little kayak was gonna
Oh
flip.
yeah, they was gonna be gone.
Oh,
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
And here's the crazy part. I don't know why I'm willing to bet he couldn't swim either.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just something in my spirit
Yeah.
just saying
Some
he
saying it.
ain't no real good swimmer either. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And
Yeah.
she know all this. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And she like, bruh, look, ain't nothing you saying gonna reassure me in this moment.
Yeah. He a tough
Good.
talker. He was
Cause
a tough talker.
you swim just like a boulder, and I do too.
mm.
Let's just go back. Let's just go back. Trust y'all.
Yeah. Yeah,
Trust, trust,
that
trust.
video, that video said a lot. That video
Mm-hmm.
said a lot about that relationship.
Yeah.
It said a lot about their relationship. Yeah.
Trust
I
is
know.
the
I know you
truth.
used to pull this up on TikTok, but I'd be curious to see the comments that people made on that
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
particular
exactly.
Yeah.
video.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
yeah.
They were going in.
Oh, I'm
Oh,
sure.
and I'm sure they were. Yeah,
Yeah.
because that was so clear and it was so clear and evident. I mean, there was no way you could argue that.
Yeah.
Absolutely no way.
Yeah. So going into relationships, we we want to have that trust. We build that trust. You work on that. You want that person to trust you. But we have to realize and recognize when that trust turns into that truth, those two last letters start changing, and that trust turns into that truth. And you have to make a decision for yourself, again, for your peace, your well being, your life in this case.
Hmm.
What position, what moves that you need to make sure that your happily ever after does come, because it does exist, it does come. So, man or woman, this applies both ways. It applies both ways. We have to love ourselves enough, love on each other enough, not to break those trusts. And when someone says, this doesn't work for me, I don't like this feeling, I don't like how this is making me feel, I don't like what's going on, we have to show that we can be trusted enough to consider their feelings and their thoughts, man or woman. Man or woman. All right, y'all. We it's almost 10 o'clock. Um
Oh, dang.
in, in a short and a sweet. In a short and a sweet. What's your last words, Kev?
Well, short and sweet. Well, just just read the signs. Read
Mm,
the signs, and hold true to that. Hold true to your deep core values, and what is, what will be, and what ain't won't. So,
mhm. 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 All right, Miss Dawn, what you got?
Yeah, I was gonna say, just hold. If you can hold each other accountable, you said a lot, Donna, in reference to uh, reading the signs and things like that. And sometimes it's good to remind yourself or remind that individual, write these down, have those type of conversations. To make sure that you're holding each other accountable. Because sometimes we can do things or we can say things as far as building that trust, and then you walk away from it, and then same thing happens 2 months later, a month later. Oh yeah, you might no, my bad, I forgot or whatever. How do you hold yourself accountable?
Hmm.
How to really understand that individual, and like you said, really know that you have their best interests at heart.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. All right, Miss Corey.
Come on, hold on, Corey. Give it to us. Come on. I see you struggling. Come on.
So I was just gonna say, pay attention. Pay attention, because the same thing you think you like, you might hate later on. So pay attention, and don't give the benefit of the doubt. Accept
Mm,
what it is as it is.
Mm.
And go
mm,
with that.
mm.
Mm. All right, Jimmy, close us out.
I'm gonna speak to this from an introspective point of view. I think as individuals, we need to always be considerate of the situation and the emotions that somebody are experiencing in that particular situation, right? Be ask for some level of wisdom to know how to navigate each situation that you're in the context of a relationship. And as the young lady said, hold yourself accountable so no one else has to do it for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I believe in just the old school rule of thumb. Treat people
Treat
like you want to be
you
treated.
want to be treated. That's
You know what I'm
right.
saying? And if we start there, you know, I think a lot of things can improve in any type of relationship, but especially, intimate relationships. Like, just
Hmm.
treat people the way you would want to be treated.
Hmm.
Show them the same level of courtesy, show them the same level of respect, show them the same level of kindness and reciprocity that you want somebody to show you. And then I think, like I said, life will be better.
That's right. That's right. All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all joining me. I appreciate it. Trust y'all. It don't come easy sometimes, but it goes real quick.
It
It
sure
can go
does.
real quick. It can go real quick. All right, y'all. Thank you for joining me. YouTube, Facebook. Y'all have a great evening. We'll see y'all next week, Thursday. Crew, do me a favor. Hold on 1 second. Good night,
Okay.
everyone.
Good night.